Hey, it's Sam, and today I wanted to try something a little bit different, which is that I'm going to be making some Roux example solves. I'm going to leave the scrambles in the description and put the scramble on the screen for each solve. So here's the scramble for solve number 1, and let's get straight into solve number 1. Solve number 1, we're going to be doing the yellow on bottom, green on side block. We're going to be doing a line. So we have this piece over here, and then we have these two pieces right here, the DL edge here, and then this corner right here, and DR is going to be set up nicely. If we track, I'm going to do an F prime, M, R, D prime, then DR is going to be right here. So F prime, M, R, D prime, and then I can lower this DR straight into there with an R prime, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to detach the corner, and then also there's this edge piece here, so I can do a really smooth motion of U prime, R2 prime, U, R2, U, R prime, and then here I probably have a pause because it took me a second to find that the remaining pair was already slotted, which is pretty unfortunate, but we just have to go with it, and I do R prime, U, R wide, and then U2, M prime, U, insert into the back there with a wide move. And then here, multi-angle recognition, I noticed these two stickers and then these two matching, so I noticed an anti-soon, double flick, and then into an anti-soon. I know it's going to be an arrow because anti-soon doesn't affect edge orientation. And then I'll just continue with my foray. I can't do EOLR, so I'll just have to do ULUR and then 4C. Here's Scramble 2. So on Scramble 2, I saw a couple of interesting things. The first thing I saw, of course, is this green-orange pair. And there's also this blue-orange pair, so we can do this white on bottom block right here. And it's okay, but it's not great, so I kept looking. And then I also saw this white on bottom red block, where we could do this sort of half line thing where we do R prime, U2, R, and then D2, and then we have this square here. But that sets up this pair to be not the best, so I don't really like that one too much. So I went back to my orange block because even though it's not that great, I think it's still better. So if we track the DR, we're going to do M, U, M prime, which is still unaffected, and then we insert with an F prime, so then DR goes here, U2B, so DR is just going to be right here, and we're going to insert with some variation of R, Y, G, U, R2. So here we go, M, U, M, F prime, U2, and then I have regripped while I was doing this, and then I have to regrip and do a B right there, and then I just insert this with a R wide U, and then probably R wide U R, which actually very nicely pairs up both of our second block pairs. So I'd insert this with multi-slotting, R wide U, and then R2 prime U, R wide. And then from here I can recognize we have this T case, and I know I'm going to get an arrow because it flips two edges, and that happens to be, it flips these two edges, and this happened to this one was oriented and this one was misoriented, so we're still going to end up with one edge flipped. And then EOLR, I just know by deduction that the orange LR edge is right here, and then I have this red one here, so I can do a nice flow strain to EOLR, and then DFDB, I just finish. Scramble 3, at first I noticed this green-orange pair, and I was thinking of doing a block like that. I was thinking of doing a misoriented centers block where you could just insert this green pair, F2 right here, and then figure out something with this pair, just R2, U, M prime, B prime. But I didn't really like that much, so I kept looking. There's also this stuff right here. But that isn't the best. Like I could have done RU, R wide prime, F prime, and then inserted this pair, but then there's still the other pair. That's a lot of moves for just one pair. There's no half line thing I can really do on red over there. But then I found this pretty interesting blue block, which is not the most efficient of line blocks, but it is nonetheless a line block, which is pretty good. So we have these two right here. This can be paired up with a slice move right there, and then these two right here. So we do D M prime U B and then U2 R2 prime and then a D prime, and we'd have our line done. So definitely not the most efficient of the line blocks, but it's a line block and it's cool. So DR would be unaffected until the B, so it'd be here, and then we'd do a U2, so it'd be here, R2, so it'd end up here with white on top, which is a pretty nice position. It's just 2 moves to insert, so let's go ahead and do that. So it'd be, I do probably D with my left hand, D push, and then M prime, and then regrip as I'm doing this U prime, B, U2, R2, and then D. And then we have this right here. Now this is kind of a bad case because I want to detach this corner, but that would require me overturning my wrist. I'd probably just regrip. So I do an R wide, U to, and then R prime, and then actually do an R2 prime and do an M prime to cancel into this next pair, U, then R wide. And then we're left with this pretty ugly second pair right here. But I know that when we do this second pair, CML is going to be unaffected. And we can predict CML from here. So multi-angle recognition. I know that these two right here are matching. So these two here must be matching. And they are indeed matching. So if we go ahead and do this pair with a U, R wide, U prime, M, U, R prime. Then now we have the same case, and we already know what's back here, so we just know to AUF. And then I know these two flips, so we're going to get some sort of 2-2 case. I don't know which, because I don't know how it affects edge permutation. And then we get this one, which is pretty good. So we do M prime, U, M to get our EOLR done. We have this one move EOLR done now, and then we just insert it and do 4C. Okay, on this scramble, the first thing I saw was this pair right here, but I couldn't really find much good with it to do with it. I saw this, just like an F prime insertion here at this misoriented center, but this back pair is really ugly, so I decided not to do that. I also thought of doing an orange block. We could do some sort of half line thing with this corner that's right there, like D prime, R2, insert this edge, and then insert the half line with the D move, and then R wide B prime. To insert this pair, but that's a lot of moves, sort of difficult to track, so I decided not to go for that. I ended up deciding to go for a half line block with blue on left, white on bottom. And this one, it has a lot of moves. I think it's 7 moves. But it's pretty much the best I could find. So what it is, we'll start off by inserting this edge in the back using U prime R B2, and then we'll finish the half line with a D prime, and then the corner, the red blue corner is going to be up here, and then the red blue edge is going to be right here. So if we do an F R2F, then we'll have that pair inserted, and then DR is just going to be the first move that's going to affect it is the B2, and that's going to be the only move that affects it. It's right here, so it's just going to be here, and then we'll have a nice U R2 insertion of some sort. So we'll go U R B2 and then D, and then we have this piece right here, which I do F with my ring right there, and then R2 prime F, and then now we have the DR here, which I'd probably do R wide, U R wide prime on, so that we can get this corner that's in a pretty bad position up there, facing up. Oh, and it paired up. So we'll just insert that in the back. And then this pair we will unfortunately just have to do because it's pretty bad. And then this CMLL, it's a nice soon case. And yeah, multiple angle recognition. These two are opposite. These two are the same. This is anti-soon, I meant. And we can do either just regular anti-soon or do fat anti-soon and turn it into an arrow. And then it's not a good arrow. But we have that, and then 4C. So this was a pretty easy block. I noticed this pair right here, and then this is a free pair right here, and then DR is there, pretty much visible. So we start off with, this is going to be a DR, or a DL. We do a B prime, D, B2, to get this back square done, and then we have this pair, which is 3 moves. So in total, it's 6 moves, and then DR is just going to end up over here. It's only affected by a U to pair up this front pair, and then we're going to have a more or less good 2-move DR insertion. So B prime, D, B2, F, U, F prime, and then U, and then we can insert this, which I'll insert with an RY2. I don't see any edges on the top, so I'll try to bring edges to the top and fail to do that. This was actually an edge that we wanted back there, and something I didn't realize while I was inserting this is that we have this corner attached. I guess my hand was in the way there. I just couldn't see that piece. Anyway, we'll keep going with it. Looks like a pretty bad second block so far. We have these 2 pieces right here and these 2 pieces right here. I'd probably start off with these 2 pieces. So we do this pair in the back by doing that. And then we have this pair, which has been made a little bit better. And we can predict CMLL because once the corner is inserted, then our second block alloc doesn't affect our CMLL. And this is a great CMLL. So now we know that. Keep that in mind. We have this great CMLL. I know it's going to give me an arrow because of how it affects edges. And then we have a not good arrow, and make sure to insert those correctly and finish with 4C. Okay, the first thing I noticed on this block, on the scramble, is we have this free pair right here, which can be inserted with R prime, R wide prime B, this DR right here, and then this edge is going to go right here, and this corner is going to go here, so we can do R prime U, R prime F to insert that front pair. And then DR is going to end up here. The only move that actually affects it is the B. And yeah, that's it. So R wide B, R prime U, R prime F. And then we can go ahead and insert this piece right here. I'm going to go R wide prime U, R prime to get that corner detached. And that turns out to set up this not too bad 2-gen case that I can just insert in the back there, and then we have this other 2-gen case that goes right there, and then multi-angle recognition, these two are matching, therefore I know these two are matching, and then this is going to give me a 1-1 EOLR case, because the 2 edges it flipped were these 2 that were right here, and then AUF, because I didn't see this, and then here's the LR edge, one of the LR edges here, and then I just know that other LR edge is right there, so I'll do M prime, U prime M, get that EOR, and then I will finish with the FDB. Okay, I don't like the block on the scramble, but this scramble is not that great, so we're going to do a half line on orange white bottom, and that's going to include this corner over here and then the DR edge over here. So what I'm thinking is a U prime B2 and then D B prime D R wide U R B prime. So if you have a very inefficient block, I don't like that. DR is right there. So let's just go ahead and do that. There's going to be U prime B2 D B D and then U regrip here, unfortunately. R wide U R B prime. So yeah, pretty bad. And then I forgot to track DR, but it's right there, pretty obvious in my face. Not a great position though, compared to this pair, since we don't want to break this. So I'd insert this with a hedge slammer, and then insert this free pair right there. And then I know that the other edge is back here, although I don't know what orientation, so I'd have to peek back there, unfortunately. And it's in that orientation, so I would bring it up with an M. And then we have that, and then multi-angle recognition. I see that this is going to be the case where these two are the same case with headlights right there. So I'll come over here, and then I can't predict E on this one because that one's a little bit more complex, and I haven't gone around to learning that one yet. Now this one, there is a simple EOLR, which is just M2 because the LR edge on top is oriented, and LR edge on bottom is misoriented. But you can actually do an EOLRB here. I knew this one was the red one, although I wouldn't have enough time to think about this. So what I do is I just ideally M2 to get that EOLRB, and then complete that EOLRB, and of course I get dots the one time I do EOLRB. This block is, again, not that great. What we do here is we have this orange DR right there, this orange pair right there, and then we have this orange pair right here, which is not paired up right now, but we can pair it up soon. So what we'll do is B2, U prime, and then we basically have an R prime, U, F prime pair right there, and then the back pair is right there. We can insert that with an R wide B prime. So tracking DR is going to be, DR is going to go here, and then it's going to stay there, and then it's going to go there. Okay, so the DR is going to end up right there, 3 moves away from insertion, if I track that correctly. So not that great in any way, but anyway, I'm going to count this because I'm curious. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7, definitely not the best, but it's good enough. And then over here, I'll just do an R wide prime, and then here, this, I know that edge orientation is good. And then this corner, I want to get it unstuck. So what I'll probably do is, this isn't necessarily ideal, but I'll do R, U, R, and then we have this 2-gen pair here, which is definitely the one I'd be tracking as I brought the DR down. That'd be the one I look ahead to, and then this pair right here. And then in this case, I recognize the sort of X pattern right here, and then I know that this is going to be the case where we do U prime and then RE2. So yeah, these two are opposites. So RE2, and then I'm pretty sure that flips those two. So yeah, I'm just going to end up with that 2-2 case, or 2-0 case, sorry. And then this one, just ELR. It's pretty much natural there. And then finish with 4C. I've had multiple blocks on this scramble that I was considering for a little bit, but I'm gonna do this one, which is definitely not a finger tricky block at all, but for some reason I just don't want to do it. So it's we have this pair right here, which is a free pair, but we're gonna be pairing it up in 2 moves. So we're gonna do RM, and then the center is going to be here, so we'll insert it over there with a U wide, and then just simply F to insert that, and then we have this corner right here, which is going to go around U2 or B prime to insert that last pair. Tracking this DR, we have it back there, and it's going to end up right up there, so not bad. All right, let's go ahead and do this. So RM, and then we'd have to sneak a U wide in there. And then F, U2, R, B prime, and then just like I predicted, that piece is right there. We'll insert that with an RY2 to bring some pieces up to the top. We have this pair right here, which I'll insert with probably an M, and then insert it right there. And then I probably would not have seen that piece right there, so I'd do a B prime. Once I noticed that piece was, an R wide prime, sorry. Once that piece is there, I'll just go ahead and do that insertion, and then here we have this CMLL, the L commutator case. So I could have predicted my LSC there, but I didn't. Anyway, I know that I can do ELR B here because we have this misoriented center, and then we can insert it directly like that, and just 4C. So for this scramble, I noticed this pair right here, this DR right here, it's going to be another DL. It's going to be another DL. First block, definitely not the most efficient, but it's somewhat finger tricky. And then DR is right there, so I'll go ahead and track that. So it's going to go U2, B, and then R wide prime, U, R prime, F. So it's just going to end up right there. This is going to be right there. And it's going to have that 3-move insertion. So U2, B, U, R wide prime, U, R prime, F, and then it's not nice DR at all. I didn't really plan this out, but I have to regrip, do a massive regrip right there, or else I'd be way overturned. And then we have this right here. So I noticed that these two are like this, but they are not in position to be paired. So what I do is an RY2 and then U2 then insert that pair right there. And I saw that pair back there, but I can't, sorry, I saw the edge back there, but I can't remember what orientation it's in. So as I'm bringing this down with an R prime, I check the orientation, and then I'd solve it in the back there. And then here, there's this nice case, which is Sledge Sexy. And then this EOLR case into 4C. Okie dokie, here we're going to do a line block. We're going to do a line block with yellow on bottom, red on side. And it's not the most efficient line block ever, but it is a line block. So we're going to do M2 to bring this edge right here, and then we're going to do B prime and then U B2. So we're going to have both lines done, and then just finish that with the D2. DR is going to be right here. It's going to go over here with that B prime, and it's going to come back here. So it's not going to be in the greatest position. It's going to be a pretty move consumptory insertion. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves. So let's see if we can actually improve that DR position. And improving that DR position would cost me 1 move, and then it'd save 3 moves. So I'm willing to do that. So we'll do, instead of doing M2 B prime, we'll do a U M2 B prime, or yeah, a U prime M2 B prime to bring this right over there. So U prime M2, and then you're gonna have to regroup there, B prime U2 B2 B2. We have that block there, and then we just insert this with an RY2, and then we have this pair right here, which I'll insert into the front. That sets up that back pair pretty nicely. And then we have this, we're gonna get a 2.0 case. My least favorite kind of case now for 2.0. Unfortunately, usually I just ram right into it without thinking about ELR, because it's so hard to recognize ELR when all these edges are oriented. But if I were a little bit smarter about it, then I can even do ELR B. So we have one LR edge here, one LR edge back here. So I'll do M prime and then U M prime, and that sets up ELR B right there, and then 4C. All right, so that was the final example solve. Tell me what you think of these example solves. If you find something better, please do tell me, because I'm always looking to improve my solving and my example solves for you guys. And these example solves are pretty fun to do, so I think I will do some more, also some for OH. Regardless, I'll see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.